I've been hearing voices in my head, and it's been quite a journey trying to figure out where they're coming from. I know they're not my own thoughts. I don't believe they're from God either, but I don't want to jump to conclusions and say that they're from the devil. It's left me wondering whose voices they are and how I can discern between my own thoughts and God's voice. As we're now off to La Union, I seek a moment of peace and reflection. It's been a year since I made the decision, and I want to assess how the past year has unfolded. Recently, my wife and I had a conversation with a friend about these voices and how they've been influencing my thinking and decision making. It made me realize that some of these voices have been causing confusion and making me question whether I've made the right choices in the past, especially this past year. They've even hindered me from pursuing creative endeavors that I feel called to do in the first place. Even before I took this step on a new direction in my life, I knew deep down that I had ideas and thoughts that needed to be expressed. I wanted to make an impact and connect with others through my words and actions. But for a long time, I kept these ideas confined within a box, limited by the expectations and standards placed upon me. During my years as a campus missionary and a youth pastor, I experienced a mix of voices. Some encouraged and supported me in pursuing ideas that aligned with the organization's goals, especially those relevant to the younger generation. However, there were also voices that subtly discouraged me, causing me to hold back and silence my true self. I remember a conversation with a friend and former boss before I went abroad for my master's program. He pointed out how different I had become, how I had changed over the year. It was a wake-up call for me to reflect on the impact those negative voices had on my life and how they shaped my behavior and performance. During my time abroad, I had the opportunity to confront what had happened and evaluate the negative influence those voices had on me. I realized that I had strayed from my true calling, and it affected my engagement, my productivity, and my overall sense of self. I long to return to a place where I can hear God's voice clearly, and that I can align my values and actions only with Him. I yearn for that simplicity where I can just walk on the sand without any other distractions. I desire a direct connection with God, free from external influences or agenda. I want to find that clarity and assurance that come from knowing I am following His calling and purpose for my life. These moments, like simple bonfires, coffee shared with friends, they give me energy and they revive my spirit and remind me that God is present with us.
My arms are shiny.
What? Where is he?
We may all have our own struggles and imperfections, but knowing that the Lord is with us brings comfort and strength. Looking back, I have no regrets about the decisions I have made and the paths I've taken. Each step has been part of a continuous process that God has orchestrated in my life. While I have encountered voices that were not meant for me, I have learned to acknowledge them and choose not to be influenced by them. I hold on to the prayer by Sir Francis Drake, "Disturb me, O Lord," as a reminder to stay out of my comfort zone and walk in step with God each day. So as I continue on this journey of discerning voices and seeking God's guidance, I encourage you to reflect on your own experiences and the voices you've encountered. Know that you have the power to choose which voices to listen to and follow, which voices to silence, acknowledging that they exist, but at the same time, you won't listen to it. May we all find the courage to embrace God's calling and live out His purpose for our lives. But when it's too comfortable in the comfort zone, the Lord shall disturb us.